It was nearly a quarter century ago, weird to say. I was an undergrad, and I was deep in writing my senior thesis, which is about the creation of patriotism in the United States. And I had immersed myself in the history of nationalism. I had researched the origins of the symbols and songs of patriotic fervor. I had heard stories of fierce love of country from veterans. I had learned about how patriotism and militarism were carefully taught to our youngest people. And I was watching at that time in real time as our country responded to 9/11 with a scary unity that looked more like obligation, conformity, and a fanatical patriotic cosplay. I could give a dozen sermons on patriotism because I truly love this topic, but that is not the focus of what we're doing tonight. That just got really loud.
No, they asked to turn it up. Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine.
So we're not here tonight for me to tell you about how much I love patriotism, but if you want to talk to me about it, I will talk to you about it. My response back in 2003, when I was writing my senior project, was to be out on the streets of rural Ohio, protesting the war with full patriotic duty. And during that time, as I would be standing out on the street with my peace signs, I was called traitor. I had eggs thrown at me. You can imagine all the things when you're protesting against a war and you're supposed to be being patriotic. And my self-righteousness for defining patriot in my own terms continued to grow since that day. And that's why you will see me wearing today. That's why you'll see me today wearing a different protest activist shirt every 15 minutes. I think I'm on number 5. Because that is what I truly believe is patriotism at the heart, is standing up for the ideals that we all want to see. So, tonight, on the eve of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we are doing our own brand of patriotism and our own brand of celebrating the 4th of July. Back in August, when I asked you all to join me and Nathan on this adventure of covenanting through collapse, I said this: we don't know for certain what the 4th of July holiday will bring, but with all that we've seen and all that we know, it wouldn't surprise me if July 4th, 2026 becomes a well-rehearsed caricature of patriotism, with the United States president celebrating independence by putting the proverbial crown on his head, empowered by loyalists, emboldened to pursue full autonomy to do whatever they want in a whitewashed DC Capitol. It was pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And tonight, we don't want to let this get too normalized. We all know what's happening in the country, and I don't want to let it get normalized by pretending it's not happening. So will you just shout out a couple things that are happening in our country right now? It's okay if you talk over each other. We're just going to hear it for a minute.
Alex Blue, kidnapping.
Nice.
Criminalize the TSA. Felon community. I am a human.
Okay.
Social media.
Okay. That's just a small part of the list, right? Of all the things that are terrifying us right now. And that's why we're here tonight. And so back in August, what I said we were going to do was spend this past year getting proactive, feeling prepared for whatever happens tomorrow and for whatever happens in this full year to come, because we know we're not done yet. And this last year, we asked, in a time of collapse, how do we practice Unitarian Universalism together? How do we center love together? How do we be faithful together? what are Unitarian Universalists called to do in these times? And in particular, what is the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada called to do in these times in this country? And we have done a lot this year to reflect on those questions. We have been very loud in our community. We've shown up to lead the crowd in movement songs on a megaphone at the last No Kings rally. Can I get a cheer for our choir and for our amazing Sam? We've spoken on the stage for both of those big marches this past year. I went to Minneapolis, and then a massive amount of you gathered afterwards to learn capacities for bringing those experiences back to UUFNN. We had Rebecca Solnit speak, and we had Emma's Revolution come and play, and we showed up in the community in a bunch of other loud ways. And we also showed up in less public ways too. We practiced mutual aid, we brought pastoral care out into the community, and we gathered local clergy to talk about how we might work together. And in those meetings, we named with honesty what is happening in our country. And we named that for some of the local clergy, that is impossible for them to say in their congregations. So kudos to us. And as we put this collapse lens on in our congregation, we began changing things in small ways here at UUFNN too. We reflected, for instance, of the future of membership and stewardship. And we were willing to wonder aloud together about how we do justice, how we do worship, how we do education, and much more. And we asked ourselves, when our children and our children's children look back on this moment in history, how do we want Unitarian Universalists in Northern Nevada to have shown up? And for many of you, the answer was not a fierce loyalty to the way we've done things in the past here in our congregation, but a willingness to experiment and be creative. This congregation is dedicated not to the status quo, but to our values and to practicing our values in everything that we do. And we truly practiced this year covenanting. Not just the collapse part, but covenanting. We held a failabration. Anyone remember that? We held a failabration where we truly celebrated our failures, and we have needed to remind each other of that several times throughout the year. We had some challenging experiences, and we had to name that some of our practices and policies need to be changed. We're not perfect. We got to examine ourselves and wonder if we were always practicing what we preach. For instance, I am grateful to many of you here tonight, many people who have said, why do we produce so much waste at all of our events? Could we change the way we do our social gatherings so that we're trying out living some of our values? Wouldn't that be cool? And we named some hard stuff this year, like the fact that religious life is changing. And that means we really need to rethink how we do church, because we won't be able to just bring in new members like we have in the past. And my goodness, that caused us to really consider whether or not we could accept a huge, generous donation that was offered to us, because we wanted to be sure we could afford infrastructure changes in the future. And all that reflection and that uncomfortable uncertainty helped us really get curious and honest and creative. And now we have a $2 million gift that will help us live into our values into the future.
Yeah!
And the task force that has been dedicating their time to figuring out how we're going to use those funds will be sharing details and progress with you really soon. In this coming year, we are going to keep naming, keep practicing, keep experimenting and failing. We're going to keep being wildly creative, We're going to keep doing the public and less public acts of patriotism that answer the question through our actions about who Unitarian Universalists in Northern Nevada are called to be in these times. And to me, that feels incredibly empowering. It feels incredibly empowering. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the love, faith, justice, and joy that it takes to face tomorrow's 250th with renewed courage. So give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, I want to do a couple thank yous. I want to thank Alan Lilly. Where are they? Alan Lilly, thank you for being our co-board presidents this year. And for leading us through an entire year of covenanting through collapse, which was a little weird. And there are way too many people to thank tonight. We have so many wonderful, dedicated lay leaders who give so much time. All the people here who have been helping make this happen tonight. There are probably 24 at least of you who helped make this event happen tonight. So thank you to all those folks. And I want to thank one other person in particular, even though I can't name everybody by name. I want to name Dennis. Dennis, will you wave your hand? Dennis is retiring. Dennis says, yeah, kind of. You all don't even know all the things that Dennis does for this congregation. Dennis does so many things for this congregation and has for so many years. Such an amazing human. So thank you, Dennis. We love you so much. And I want to thank our staff again. Carol is in the back in the most amazing costume. And our amazing Nathan, who I would not have had the courage to do all the weird things that we do if it wasn't for Nathan. And they don't temper me at all. They just like... and then Sam and Philip and Jeff and Katie and Mag, just all of our amazing staff who help run our everything all the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank our wonderful DJ Devin, who just so happens to be connected to someone that we love very dearly, and so we love you by default. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And I'm going to pass it to Tracy, who helped make this amazing bench that people are sitting on happen. So I want to just share with you a little bit about what happened.
All right, so last October we started, don't get up, nope, enjoy it. Last October we started collecting plastic and we're supposed to do 1,000 pounds and then we get this bench. And then in January I got a letter that said we're moving beyond benches and we're doing quarterly prizes if you do $250 or 250 pounds of plastic per quarter. And so then at work, Suzanne, our environmentalist person, said, yeah, they're not doing the bench anymore. And I'm like, oh. So I wrote to them and said, you can't do that. We've been collecting plastic. And they said, yeah, sorry, too bad, so sad. You might win something. And so I got an email in the middle of June, and they said, remember, the quarter's ending, get your 250 pounds in to be eligible to win some cheesy little prize. And I emailed back and I said, yeah, I don't know if we're going to keep doing it. We're really disappointed. I haven't even broken it to the congregation yet because I'm so embarrassed. And they sent us a bench.
Yay, thank you. Okay.
Still going to do this 1,000 pounds, and then we'll educate everybody. everybody on what to do with the plastic after that.
Still collecting plastic, and we are going to be educating people on something.
And we'll tell you how you can continue, but I also want to thank Dennis because we're all going to take turns hauling plastic out to Fernley, and Dennis has done 3 trips now.
Okay. Woo!
Oh boy.
Y'all, there was a time. That is great. Thank you so much. There was a time during COVID when we were leading services outside. And I was not used to talking in front of people and did not enjoy it. And I had my little thing for all the things that I was going to say outside, and they blew away just like that. They just disappeared here at this congregation. Okay, so we are going to do a costume contest soon. Woohoo!
Where are the trophies?
Okay, come on. We're going to do a costume contest soon.
Woo!
And anybody is allowed to enter this contest. We actually have prizes and trophies. If you all saw my tank top that I was wearing, we have gift cards for this place that is run by a Unitarian Universalist. So you want to enter because you can get a really cool gift card and support a Unitarian Universalist. We are going to gather back in... We're going to gather back in 15 minutes to do the costume contest. If you want to participate, which you do, you are going to meet us. You're going to go through Star King over to the Schweitzer room. And then the walkway, the moveway, is going to be down the ramp or down the stairs and then right into the center here. And you are actually going to have a panel of judges right here. The judges are our 2 co-presidents from this past year and our incoming president, Chris. And they are going to judge you pretty loosely. And there might be some audience participation as well. 2 things I want you to hear before we break up to sign up to be part of the costume contest with Nathan. Make sure that you talk to Nathan first and put your name down on a piece of paper. There are 2 tables over here that have arts and crafts on them. One of them on the left-hand side, well, they're both very self-explanatory, but they're 2 craft projects that we are hoping every single person here is going to do tonight. They should take 5 minutes each, but they are a continuation of everybody remember the Rage service that we did? No, we did a Rage service. There were Rage stations. We broke stuff. Yeah. Okay. This is a continuation of our Rage service where we are acknowledging the rage, the fear, the grief that we hold, and we are turning it into empowerment and courage and community and recognizing the power of being in a community like this and recommitting ourselves to what we're going to do this coming year, despite the fact that we feel all of that rage. So we please go over to those 2 tables, fill those out in this 15 minutes before we start our costume contest, and please participate in the costume contest. That's it. Yay!
Yeah.